The valet had barely opened my car door before I heard it. Laughter. Loud, elegant laughter echoing from the terrace of my beachfront villa. I froze for half a second, the ocean breeze whipping through my hair as I stared up at the house I hadn't seen in 6 months. Before we begin, drop a comment and tell us where are you from and from which city you're watching our videos? And after watching the whole video, don't forget to tell us what would you do in this situation? Be honest, tell me in the comments below. We read every comment. Let's begin. It looked different. Too polished. Too alive. The scent of grilled seafood, champagne bubbles, and expensive perfume carried through the salt air. I walked up the marble steps, heels striking against the stone like gunfire. The front door wasn't even locked. Music spilled from the living room, jazz, laughter, the clink of glasses. And then I saw her, Serena, my younger sister, standing by the glass railing in a white silk dress, one arm looped around her husband's, the other holding a mimosa, like she owned the damn world. My jaw tightened. Her words floated above the chatter. Oh, the villa? My husband and I decided to keep it as a summer getaway. It's better than letting it rot while Rachel's off doing whatever it is she does abroad. A few relatives chuckled politely. I stepped fully into view. The music didn't stop, but every face turned toward me. Whatever it is I do abroad, I said evenly, seems to have paid for all this. You could have heard a pin drop. Serena's glass froze midair. Rachel, she said finally, forcing a laugh that didn't reach her eyes. Wow, I didn't know you were back. You really should have called before showing up uninvited. Uninvited? I echoed, walking past her guests, scanning every corner of my own home. That's funny. Last I checked, this villa still has my name on the deed. She smirked, tossing her hair. You sold it before you left. Everyone knows that. I'm hosting a private family brunch right now, so maybe you should. Leave before you press charges? I cut in. My tone was calm, almost lazy, but my eyes didn't move from hers. Go ahead. Call security. A flicker of panic flashed across her face. She hesitated, then snapped her fingers. Marcus. Two uniformed guards appeared from the patio, tall and serious. The guests began whispering, half excited, half nervous. Serena folded her arms. Escort her out, please. She's trespassing. The guards exchanged glances, then turned to me. Welcome back, Miss Carter, one said respectfully, lowering his head slightly. We didn't expect you so soon. The entire room froze. Serena's color drained. I don't understand, she stammered. What are you doing? I'm your employer. The second guard straightened. With respect, ma'am, our contract is with the property owner. And that's her. He nodded toward me. I smiled faintly. Now, if you're done pretending to own my life, Serena, I'd like everyone out. My home's not a playground for liars. She looked like someone had slapped her. Rachel, please, it's not. Save it, I said, stepping closer until I was just inches from her. You knew exactly what you were doing. You thought I'd never come back. You thought you could replace me. Tears welled in her eyes, but I turned away before they could fall. Get everyone out. Before I do. The guards began ushering the guests toward the door, murmuring apologies. Serena stood frozen, trembling, watching as her social circle scattered like smoke. When the last car pulled away, silence filled the villa. Only the waves kept moving. I walked to the balcony, staring out at the horizon. The same horizon I'd once looked at and promised myself I'd never be stepped on again. That promise just got renewed. And this time, I wasn't forgiving anyone. The morning light spilled through the tall glass windows, warm and golden, but nothing about the air inside that villa felt warm. The scent of last night's party still lingered, champagne, perfume, betrayal. My sister's laughter had soaked into the walls, and even the sea breeze couldn't wash it away. I stood in the center of the living room, arms folded, scanning the mess she'd made of my life. My furniture replaced. My books gone. Even the family portraits on the mantel were different. Serena had replaced every single one with her own smiling face, her husband Blake beside her, pretending they owned everything. The anger in my chest wasn't explosive, it was quiet, sharp, surgical. I didn't want to scream. I wanted justice. My phone buzzed. A message from Serena. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Let's talk tomorrow. Please don't do anything rash. A misunderstanding. That was the word she chose. I typed back. Come tomorrow. Bring mom and dad. Then I tossed my phone aside and walked upstairs to my private office, or what used to be my office. When I opened the door, my breath caught. Boxes. Dust. A half-broken chair. My awards and certificates were shoved into a corner like trash. The framed photo of me standing on the stage at Stanford, shattered glass. The air was thick with the smell of neglect and disrespect. I picked up a photo of Serena and me from years ago, both smiling, both young. She'd written on the back, "To my big sister, who makes me proud." I stared at it for a long time. Then slowly I slid it into the trash. The next morning, I heard the crunch of tires outside. A black SUV rolled up. My parents stepped out first, Dad in his usual gray suit, Mom clutching her pearls like she was walking into a courtroom. Then came Serena, oversized sunglasses hiding swollen eyes. She hesitated at the gate before walking up. The guards didn't move. They knew who was in charge now. When she stepped inside, her eyes flicked around like she was seeing the place for the first time. "You've redecorated," she said weakly. "No," I replied. "I just put things back where they belong." Mom tried to soften the air. "Rachel, sweetheart, let's not turn this into a fight. Serena just got overwhelmed handling things here." Overwhelmed. I cut her off, my voice low. She threw parties in my home, claimed it as hers, erased me from every wall. And you call that overwhelmed? Serena's lip trembled. "I didn't mean to erase you. I thought you weren't coming back. You didn't answer any calls or messages. You were waiting for me to disappear," I said flatly. "And when I didn't, you panicked." Her voice cracked. "You have everything, Rachel. The degrees, the career, the recognition. You've always had it all. I just wanted one thing that was mine." "Then you should have earned it," I said. "Not stolen it." The room went quiet. The waves outside sounded like distant thunder. Dad cleared his throat. "Rachel, maybe we can resolve this quietly." "No," I said. "You want quiet? You should have stopped her when she threw me out of my own house. You should have told her this wasn't right. But you didn't. You stood by while she dragged my name through the mud." Mom's eyes filled with tears. "She's your sister. And I'm your daughter," I shot back. "But that only seems to matter when it's convenient for you." Serena's mask finally cracked. "Please, Rachel. I've lost everything. Blake's company is in trouble, the investors pulled out, and I needed this place to host them. I didn't know what else to do." I stepped closer. "You turned my home into your showroom to impress people who never cared about you. You used my success as a costume. And now you're crying because the truth showed up uninvited." She shook her head, whispering, "I'm sorry." But I wasn't done. I reached into my bag and pulled out a folded envelope, the same kind my legal team had delivered last night. I placed it on the table between us. "What's this?" she asked. "The company you and Blake ran? The one drowning in debt?" "I bought it," I said, voice steady. "Under a new holding firm. As of this morning, your board has already approved the transfer." Her hands shook as she opened it. Her face went pale. "Rachel, you didn't." "Oh, I did." She staggered back. "Why?" "Because I wanted you to understand," I said quietly. "You tried to take my house, my name, my peace. Now you'll know what it feels like to lose everything you built on lies." Tears spilled down her cheeks. You can't destroy me like this." "I'm not destroying you," I said coldly. "I'm saving what's left of my dignity." Dad looked between us, speechless. Mom covered her mouth, trembling. "I didn't want this," Serena whispered. "I just wanted to feel like you do, important, respected." I sighed. for the first time letting a hint of weariness show. Serena, respect doesn't come from pretending to be someone else. It comes from surviving what life throws at you without stealing someone else's light. For a second, the old silence between us returned, the one from childhood, when words never fixed anything. Then I turned and said, "Get out. All of you." Mom gasped. "Rachel, please."
No.
"You raised us to know the difference between right and wrong. I'm just the only one who remembers." I walked toward the balcony and stared out at the ocean while they left. The waves crashed like applause below me, slow, deliberate, endless. I wasn't proud of what I did, but I wasn't sorry either. Some lessons are only learned through loss, and my sister was finally learning hers. By evening, the ocean outside had turned the color of steel. I stood on the balcony, arms resting against the railing, watching the tide crash against the rocks below. The sky looked as heavy as I felt, stormy, thick, silent before breaking. Inside, the villa was quiet again. No laughter, no music, just me and the sound of truth settling in. Serena's face kept flashing through my mind, the disbelief, the guilt, the fear.
It should have satisfied me.
It didn't. Revenge never fills the space it burns through. But maybe this wasn't about revenge anymore. Maybe it was about reclaiming what I'd let her take for far too long. My peace, my pride, my name. The knock at the door snapped me out of my thoughts. When I opened it, Blake stood there, Serena's husband. He looked nervous, his tie loose, his face drawn. "Rachel," he said quietly, "we need to talk. Make it quick." He hesitated. I didn't know she'd taken over this place. I thought she'd bought it. She told me everything was legal. I laughed sharply. "You married her, Blake. You should know by now she lies as easily as she breathes." He didn't argue. "She's not doing well. She hasn't stopped crying since this morning. I'm not defending her, but she's breaking." "You've made your point." "Have I?" I asked, folding my arms. "Because I don't think she understands the difference between an apology and a performance yet." He exhaled. "Rachel, please. You've always been the strong one. She's built her whole life around competing with you. When you left, she thought maybe for once she could shine. And when you came back, her illusion shattered. I finished for him. And now she has to face what she's done." He nodded. "You're right. But if you want to prove you're better than her, don't crush her completely." For a moment I said nothing. The waves below thundered louder. Then I stepped aside. "Tell her to come tomorrow morning. Alone." He looked surprised. "You'll see her?" I nodded once. But not to comfort her. The next morning came sharp and quiet. The sun was pale, the sea calm, like the world was waiting to see who I'd become next. Serena arrived early, wearing a simple beige dress this time. No jewelry, no makeup that could hide what a sleepless night had done to her. Her eyes were swollen, her hands trembling as she clutched a folder. "I didn't come to beg," she said softly. "I came to explain." I motioned for her to sit. She didn't. She opened the folder, revealing old documents, the ones from when I first bought the villa years ago. "When you left, I found these," she said. "I saw the amount you paid, the name you used, the company tied to it, and for a moment I thought if I just told people it was mine, maybe they'd finally respect me like they respect you." I know how stupid that sounds now. "It doesn't sound stupid," I said coldly. "It sounds selfish." Her voice cracked. "You don't understand what it's like living in your shadow. Every family dinner, every friend, every person compared me to you, the successful one, the perfect one. I just wanted to feel like I mattered." I stared at her for a long time, trying to find the sister I'd once known. The one who used to braid my hair before school, the one who used to laugh until her sides hurt. But all I saw was a woman who'd lost herself chasing a mirage. "You wanted to feel seen," I said quietly. "And instead, you made sure no one saw me." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I deserve everything that's happening to me."
"I know that now.
But please, Rachel, don't destroy Blake's company completely. There are people working there, families who'll lose their jobs. They're innocent." That stopped me. Her voice wasn't fake this time. It was raw, stripped human. I turned away, staring out the window. And what about me? Was I innocent when you turned my home into your showpiece? She took a shaky breath.
No.
And that's why I'm here. I'll sign whatever you want. I'll give up everything. Just don't hurt them. There it was, not the old Serena, not yet, but a flicker of something real. A beginning. I turned back, meeting her eyes. You want redemption? She nodded weakly. Then you'll earn it. I'm transferring partial ownership of the company to a charity foundation, one that will employ displaced workers. You'll oversee it. No salary. No luxury. Just work. She blinked, shocked. You're giving me a chance? No, I said softly. I'm giving you responsibility. Maybe this time, you'll learn what real worth feels like. She covered her mouth, sobbing silently. Thank you, she whispered. I'll make it right. I don't want words, Serena, I said, stepping closer. I want proof. When she left that morning, the house felt lighter, not because everything was fixed, but because I'd finally stopped carrying her guilt with mine. I walked through the halls again. My portraits were back on the walls. My books, my art, my memories, all in their rightful place. But one picture remained untouched, the photo of us as kids, hidden behind the bookshelf. For the first time in years, I didn't feel anger when I looked at it. Just acceptance. Some people break to learn. Others break to rebuild. And Serena, she'd finally started to rebuild. As the waves crashed below and sunlight danced on the glass, I whispered under my breath, the past doesn't own me anymore. Then I smiled faintly, because for the first time in a long time, I truly believed it. 2 months passed. The waves still sang against the rocks, but the air around my villa felt different. Calm, steady, mine again. I'd spent weeks restoring everything Serena had touched. The walls repainted, my office rebuilt, the energy reset. But something inside me had changed too. I no longer walked through this place as someone guarding her territory. I walked through it like someone finally free of the ghosts that used to live here. I didn't hear from Serena for weeks after that morning. Not a text, not a call. Until one day, an email landed in my inbox with a subject line, Progress Report, Foundation. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. Inside were pictures, rows of workers in hard hats smiling at a construction site, a newly opened daycare center for their kids, and Serena standing in the background, hair tied back, clipboard in hand. She didn't look like the woman who used to chase approval in diamond necklaces and champagne smiles. She looked human, grounded. Her message was short. You were right. I needed to learn the hard way. Thank you for not destroying me when you could have. I stared at that line for a long time. My chest felt heavy, not with pride, but with something quieter.
Peace, maybe.
Later that evening, as the sun dipped low over the horizon, I walked down to the beach barefoot. The sand was cold under my feet, the water brushing softly against my ankles. Behind me, I heard footsteps crunching in the sand. When I turned, Serena stood a few feet away. She looked thinner, paler, but her eyes were steady. Blake and I separated, she said quietly. He couldn't handle the scandal. I don't blame him. I nodded slowly. You okay? A faint smile. For the first time in a long time, yes. The wind caught her hair as she looked out at the ocean. I didn't come here to ask for anything. I just wanted to say thank you for giving me a chance when you had every reason not to. I studied her face. No makeup, no mask, no arrogance. Just the little sister I once knew. Serena, I said softly, forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about refusing to let it own you. Her eyes shimmered. You really forgive me? I already did, I said. The day I stopped wishing for revenge. A tear slid down her cheek. She nodded, looking away quickly. You always were the stronger one. Maybe, I said. But strength means nothing if it doesn't change something. We stood there for a long moment, the waves washing over the sand between us. Not as enemies anymore, not even as rivals. Just two women who had both finally stopped pretending. After she left, I stayed a while longer, letting the sea wind wrap around me. I thought about everything: the betrayal, the pain, the justice, and the long road between all of it. People think revenge feels like power.
It doesn't.
Forgiveness does, because it means you're no longer ruled by what broke you. As I walked back toward the villa, the lights flickered on one by one, warm and golden. The guards nodded as I passed, the staff smiled, and for the first time in months, I smiled back. This place wasn't just my home again. It was proof that sometimes the best revenge isn't rage. It's rising higher than the people who tried to bury you. And under that fading sunset, I whispered to myself, not as a warning this time, but as a promise. I'm done fighting for what's already mine. The ocean roared softly in reply, endless and unbothered, just like me.